Hello, First Church. My name is Kelly Vaden, and I will be sharing with you some thoughts on the theme Hope in Destruction. In Mark 13, Jesus paints a picture for his disciples of the destruction and the persecution that will happen before his kingdom is ushered in. So I would guess I'm not the only one who found this a difficult chapter to read. So what does it mean to have hope in destruction? One way I thought about looking at this, hope in destruction, is to think about what destruction would look like without hope. During some of these bitterly cold days of our Omicron variant winter, I've been revisiting the classic films of the Marvel comic universe. In the 2019 movie Avengers Endgame, the superheroes are dealing with the aftermath of a supervillain named Thanos, who had wiped out half of all humanity in a single instant. It was called the Snap. And just think of the unimaginable destruction and the loss of half of our loved ones had really disappeared in one day. So the Snap, I think, was destruction without hope. In one early scene, Steve Rogers, who is also known as Captain America, mentions that while commuting to the Avengers headquarters, he saw a pod of whales in the Hudson River. His point is that with fewer ships and less pollution, it seemed that wildlife was starting to reclaim some of their territory, and in fact, in real life, we saw some of the same things in the early phases during the very strict lockdowns of the early pandemic. And his colleague, Black Widow, responds, if you're about to tell me to look on the bright side, I'm about to hit you in the head. So as blunt as she was, I think Black Widow made a fair point. Whales in the Hudson is extremely cold comfort in the face of losing friends and loved ones, whether that's from a fictional sci-fi movie disaster or the extremely real loss and death of the pandemic. I do think there's time and place for positive thinking, but for Black Widow, it's not the same as having an actual hope to hold on to into the future. So in this movie, the only true hope, and I think since it's been out for a few years, I'm allowed to have some slight spoilers, the true hope only comes once the heroes devise a plan to travel back in time and do a time heist to reverse the snap that happened. So in this example, I think that hope in destruction means more than just looking on the bright side of a bad situation. In contrast, the destruction that Jesus talks about in Mark 13 is painful, but it's necessary. The stones of the human-made kingdoms need to be thrown down in order to create space for God's kingdom. No team of superheroes is coming to time travel and reverse the destruction in Mark 13 because at the end of it, as we hear in verse 26, the Son of Man is coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And when Jesus describes these times to his disciples, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He knows these times will be painful, but there's no reason to think he doesn't have compassion for the followers who have to live through this. So if we trust in him, we believe that this is destruction with hope. That is, this is destruction meant to clear the way for something better and even divine. Thanks for listening.